Good morning. No, good afternoon. Sorry about the delayed daily thought today, but we're going to get straight into it. Luke 23, verses 32 to 43 is where we are at. Around about another week or so to go before we hit the end of Luke's Gospel. It's been a great few months of reading through it. And we're on to the real nitty-gritty end of Jesus' life. And I'm going to read from verse 32 through to 43, I think it is, of Luke 23. It says this: "Two others, both criminals, were led out to be executed with him. When they came to a place called the Skull, they nailed him to the cross, and the criminals were also crucified, one on his right and one on his left. Jesus said, 'Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing.' And the soldiers gambled for their clothes by throwing dice. The crowd watched, and the leaders scoffed. 'He saved others,' they said. 'Let him save himself, if he really is God's Messiah, the chosen one.' The soldiers mocked him too by offering him a drink of sour wine. They called out to him, 'If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself.' A sign was fastened to the cross above him with these words, 'This is the King of the Jews.' One of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed, 'So you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself and us too while you're at it.' But the other criminal protested, 'Don't you fear God even when you have been sentenced to die? We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man hasn't done anything wrong.' Then he said, 'Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.' And Jesus replied, 'I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise.'" So here we see Jesus, even on the cross, continuing to speak and to love the people that are around him, or to speak honestly with those that are around him. And we have the two criminals either side of him. And there's an amazing moment here where you have in the center, as we always see it, Jesus, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, hung up on a tree with two criminals that were either side of him. And Jesus is there, innocent. We know that he'd not done anything wrong, next to two people that had done something wrong. And people are shouting, people are saying things like, "He saved others, let him save himself if he's really God and the Messiah." And they were making fun of him, calling him the King of the Jews. And that sign, of course, was on the top above his head. And yet, even in this moment, even in the moment of death, where you would say most people might question what's next and have a fear about that, one of the criminals says to him, "If you're really the Messiah, why don't you get us off this cross?" He says it in quite a derogatory term. And yet Jesus, the other guy says to him, "Don't you know that this man hasn't done anything wrong? We deserve to die for what we've done, but this man is innocent." And he says, "Jesus, please remember me." And Jesus replies, "Today you'll be with me in paradise." And ultimately, one of those recognized him for who he was and the other one didn't, in terms of the two criminals. My question to you today is, who do you recognize Jesus to be? Whether it be the Jesus on the cross, or the Jesus that was born in a stable, or the Jesus that performed the miracles. We believe him to have been the Son of God, the man who lived, died. But the story doesn't end there. We know that his resurrection is the real reason to celebrate. But Jesus died for the sins of everybody. He died for me and you. And what do you think about that? How do you feel about Jesus? Who do you think he was? How do you feel about him today? What would you be like if you were hung on a tree next to him? What would you be saying to him? I know that I recognize him as my Savior, and I hope you do too. Have a great day.